Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is how we do it.
Yep.
Football is back.
Yeah. Football
Man,
is back.
I feel
That's
like I'm
true.
fully armored up. There's a lot of stuff on my face right now.
You definitely look like
Woo!
you're on a mission for something that's maybe not on the up and up. That's what you look like.
Well, the ghetto bird is chirping, shall we say, right now in City Heights. Stay safe, City Heights.
There
We're
you
all in
go.
this together. But
Right?
please don't do anything to the Canada Steak Burger. That's a good friend of the program. They
True.
do sponsor our celebrity hotline. So stay away from Canada Steak Burger, please. Whatever ne'er-do-wells are out there running havoc on the streets this Friday night. But thank you guys for joining us. I have to take some of this stuff off of my face so I can breathe, for one. Holy cow. All right. Welcome in. Thank you guys, as always. Woo, we got another big weekend of sports coming up.
That we
And
do. That we do.
let's dive right into it, especially as we get in sort of the nitty gritty of the NHL and NBA playoffs. And football's back, as you saw on my hastily written sign. So, Tyler, how are you doing this evening? What are you looking forward to this weekend? And we'll just get right into it after that.
Yeah, just a big weekend of sports ahead, of course. MLB rolling on. Get the playoffs in the NBA and the NHL. Of course, we got NCAA football going on. We got NFL. We got Premier League action, which means for
Premier
both,
League is back.
for both the NFL and for me this year, for the first time ever, Premier League, you got fantasy action going on, which
I like that.
definitely looking forward to. So I'm excited going into the weekend. Ronnie, how you doing? How was I hope that you and producer tonight had a good anniversary last night. I know yesterday was your wedding anniversary.
Yes, thank you. We did have a nice night. We went out to, I think it's called, pronounce it just Costera. Nice, kind of an upscale Mexican restaurant down on the bay with a little view across of downtown. It's still, a little smoky in the air. So while
Right.
the sun was up, the view wasn't, super great. But you're right there on the water. And then at night, you see, the skyline lit up and stuff like that, which was pretty cool. But the funny thing about that, just to give you guys a little, inside baseball as far as my 4-year anniversary, we were trying to pick a place in the morning, and Tanaya threw out there, producer Tanaya, well, let's, football's coming on. We should go somewhere that has football. Just go somewhere cool that has a view. And I was like, yeah, all right, I'm in for that. But we're kind of looking around, and it's more like, do you want the view or do you want TVs? Or you can't really sit at a bar right now.
Right.
Even if it's a restaurant that has a bar, you can't really sit at the bar, maybe unless that's your table to eat. So we're kind of looking around, and it's like, well, this place has this, but not the other one. And I mentioned to her at one point, I was like, I mean, the TV, yes, it would be nice to watch football, but it's not like, it's fine. Like, I don't care. I'd rather just have a nice dinner. And her response literally was, but I want to watch football. So
Hell
you
yeah.
could see
Hell yeah.
working out, going strong, 4
There
years
you go.
on. So that's my boo, producer Tanaya.
There you go. I love that.
And she jumping in the comments, bomb.com. Real quick over to the comments, actually. Nick chiming in. Football, and
Well
what I believe is 4 exclamation points. Thank you.
There you go.
And always suck at mosquitoes. I still have that one on deck, as always.
That's that old chestnut, that standby right there.
Yeah, that one's permanent. I did that one in a Sharpie because I figured I was just gonna need it. But also Will coming in. Go Nuggets! Nice win tonight.
Good win.
We'll touch on that a little bit later. And also, fuck the Giants for ruining the Padres weekend. The Giants, they just ruin a lot of things. We're Dodger fans here. We get it. There's nothing good about the Giants. I don't care for them either. But thank you all for tuning in. Let me swerve over here to my on deck. I'm not going to show you guys my gross blister that I got golfing anyway. But I had it. I had it in case if things get out of control, I will pull that plug and you will see my bloody Kurt Schilling sock.
Yeah, pull the Schilling over here.
Let's start with the NBA. Will kind of teed us up there with the Nuggets. winning that game tonight. So that that series is going to Game 7. We got a Game 7
No,
going on
game
right now.
six. Game six, it's 3-2.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, they're hanging in there,
Yeah.
um, and at this point, I still kind of feel like every team except the Rockets could potentially win. I mean, yes, the Game 7 here with the Raptors Celtics is going on, um, but it seems like everyone is still pretty damn competitive
Yeah.
in this case. You thought tonight, especially at halftime, the Clippers were going to take that game away. I was setting up for the show, but I heard it, a little bit of the Clippers radio halftime, like coming back to the second half broadcast, and it seemed like they had it well in hand. They were playing good defense. They scored a bunch of points. They were shooting like, I don't know, 55% from the field or something. And as I'm setting up, sort of walking back and forth past the TV, I'm like, oh, this is a 2-point game. Interesting. And the Nuggets end up winning that game. So I don't think that's over quite yet. I mean, we've seen the Clippers show flashes of having that ability to just like flip the switch and dominate even the Nuggets, but I'm not writing that one as in the book just yet. Then we had last night the Lakers just going to work on the poor hapless Rockets. Um, I mean, I do have to sneak over and have that ready to go, but it seemed like it was going this way for a while. I don't think the house situation really affected that,
No.
but
No.
it was just a weird thing. I mean, this is we'll just touch this first because this was before the game. Um, Suspended, or he was a DNP by the team for like personal reasons, and things started leaking out. People, there was rumors it was he brought like an Instagram girl into the bubble, into his hotel, whatever. And the more and more comes out, it seems very possible that it was actually a female COVID-19 testing official into his room. The nature of that relationship, we do not know, but that's not my place to say.
Right. Right.
Uh, so then ESPN comes in today. This is basically in response to the NBA's official statement that he did violate the rules. Um, and actually, I have the statement here as well. Concluded its investigation of a recent violation of campus health and safety protocols. The findings are that 1. Houston Rockets forward Daniel House had a guest in his room over multiple hours on September 8th who was not authorized to be on campus, and 2. No evidence was found that other players or staff had contact with the guest or were involved in this incident. Mr. House is leaving the NBA campus and will not participate with the Rockets team in any future games in these playoffs. Just a weird situation, though. And I'll go
Yeah.
back to the other one. I mean, House is not. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say he's not an important player. I wouldn't say he's a
He's a
key
good role
player.
player. He's a role player for them.
He's really like the sixth man for that
Yeah.
team,
Yeah.
and especially on a team that's all action, all scoring with Harden and Westbrook. They get up and down. They like to get shots up. The D'Antoni way, 7 seconds or less. Just keep moving. But I don't know. I mean, we always thought there was going to be one of these like bubble breaches or whatever, but I didn't think it was going to be under these circumstances.
Right.
Makes it a lot weirder that apparently it was like a COVID testing person. I still don't think that's the reason why they lost. The
No.
Lakers just pretty much boat raced them last night.
Yeah.
But it definitely, you can't, dance around the fact that it would affect the team just having this going on as a distraction at the very least. And I don't know. I think Tyson Chandler's just hurt or got a regular DNP, but he was also out for personal reasons. But nothing's come out about him. So just a weird story. I don't know. Tyler was the one that first tipped me off on this. So I don't know what thoughts you have on that.
Yeah, it was one of those things. Like I know when the when the bubble first started and we found that the bubble Twitter account. Like I for sure made a ton of jokes saying like oh, I can't wait to see them bring those those Instagram thoughts in there, whatever.
Hey, we're still waiting for those bubble babies, though.
Not really thinking anything like that was going to happen, just because the protocol on this was very strict, very clear, very well laid out. But yeah, so like when that story broke out, it was kind of like, oh, like did he really get some girl in there? And again, we don't know what the what they were doing behind the doors. They could have been studying game film. She could have been,
Yeah.
she could have been helping him study up for his doctorate. We don't know. We don't know. But yeah, just a really kind of weird situation. Like you said, he is he is a role player. He's not going to be the guy that wins and loses some games. He's not going to be the reason why they lose the series. I mean, Harden going 2 for 11 from the field is not helping their case at all.
Yeah.
Plus the Lakers just kind of AD establishing his dominance inside. LeBron doing his usual whatever triple double pretty much a night is. I mean, there's nothing the Rockets are going to be able to do to stop that, unless they just absolutely shoot out of their minds for the next 3 games. But yeah, it's just a really weird situation that, like I said, we joked about but didn't really think was going to happen. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's hard to really kind of explain how I'm feeling about that.
Yeah, like I said, the jokes have been out there. Who's going to sneak an Instagram model in there? Who's going to do this or, get caught up? This is just a weird one, though, because it seems like a person that, daily works inside the bubble. And I don't think there's a risk of, exposure, because if this person really is a testing official, I'm sure they're getting tested a lot just to get in and out of that bubble to work. But, the precedent, you can't really just have people breaking the rules. I think everyone... And it went back and forth forever to get to this bubble, agree on the plan. The players pretty much sort of just resigned to the fact that it's going to be pretty boring here for, a month and a half, 2 months.
Right.
We just got to do what we got to do. And you see a lot of teams that really had a run, like a potential chance of maybe winning this whole thing, and still several of them left. I think they just accepted that, now we can some family members or close personal friends or things like that you met in person. The NBA was very clear about that. It can't be something you only know from social media. But they're able to go into the bubble, so the players are talking about that. Kind of weird. I know, some of the coaches are like, how come our families can't come? That's a little weird.
Yeah.
But this whole situation that it was a testing official makes it very weird. And again, I don't think that had any impact on, the outcome of the last 2 games. But I think the Lakers just sort of took over there. And for me, as a Laker fan, I'm just going to say it, playoff Rondo, he's been holding it down.
He's been nice.
You kind of need a red-ass, just hateful playoff Rondo type person to come in there and just sort of, whip him into shape. He had a really good game 3 and another solid game last night. And also, shout out to my boy Caruso, a.k.a. White Mamba, who had one Rockets fan who has, I think it's on SB Nation or something like that, had his, he was upset. He was upset.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
He was heated. Let me see if I have that here. If not, I'll have to grab it. Give me a second. I can just throw it in here. I thought I put that one in there, but give me a sec. I'll grab it. But, this guy was... he wasn't happy about it. Let's see. Oh, it's coming in. But and then I have some thoughts on this that, Tyler will dive on this. And I see you, caller on the line, so stay on hold. We will get to you as soon as possible. As soon as I get this video popped up in here. So this was the, I believe it's the Dream Shake podcast on SB Nation, a Rockets fan podcast. And he was upset.
Nothing that will drive me more crazy than losing to freaking average players, which is what Alex Caruso is. How many points tonight? He had 16 points! He had 16 points! Alex Caruso! Unacceptable. Mm-hmm. It's frustrating, man.
Oh, yeah.
God!
So no love for Alex Caruso.
He's taking it well.
Taking
it well.
Yeah. He seems to be taking it in stride. He's fine.
Yeah.
But shout out to Caruso, though. Nice game last night. 16 points in 30 minutes. And, yeah, I would say, he's more of a a workman type player, but Caruso,
Oh,
he's
definitely.
got a little game to him, and I like just the effort he puts out there. He's not a great on ball defender, but I think, especially the way the playoffs started without having, Rondo wasn't there at the beginning, and they just didn't really have any kind of perimeter defenders at the point guard position. Caruso does have his flaws defensively, but I haven't had any questions about his effort the whole time.
Right.
Like, I mean, if someone just blows by him, like, okay, well, that was Russell Westbrook, or that was James Harden, or Dame Lillard just shot a 40-foot three over. Like, what are you going to do about that? But he's been playing hard and he's been playing well. So shout out to Caruso and suck it to that guy. But let's dive into the phones real quick on the, Canada Steak Burger. Like I said, I don't hear the helicopter anymore, so I'm assuming it's safe. But joining us now on the Canada Steak Burger Celebrity Hotline, we do have Nick, aka Suck It Mosquitoes, coming in hot. Oh, he's got the off there.
There
Good,
you go.
good.
There you
Always
go.
like to see that. Don't spray yourself in the face. Jeez.
Oh no.
I
Oh
think the
no.
can's broke. I think the can's busted. It literally just leaked out from the other side.
Oh god. Oh,
I don't condone that, by the way. Do not spray yourself in the face, mouth, nose area with off. I'm pretty sure it's poison.
I
So,
mean, it's safer than the Rona.
well, yeah.
yeah,
Probably. I don't
possibly.
know.
Yeah.
But, Nick, how are we doing this evening? Thanks for joining the program.
That's good. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy anniversary, by the way. It's
Thank you as
big
well.
accomplishment. 4 years. It's 4 years is a big accomplishment. But so me and my father got into this heated argument today about who's more useless, overrated. So ideally, looking at the Lakers Rockets series, if or when the Rockets lose, do we go and say that James Harden is overrated or is just Russell Westbrook useless? Because both of them had their long runs in the playoff, and no one really, I haven't seen them really do anything other than the finals back when they played the Heat.
I think it's just weird they put those two guys together on a team, honestly, because Westbrook, when he was doing the back-to-back seasons, getting a triple-double, the team they were getting in the playoffs. They would be 7 seed, 6 seed sometimes, whatever. But both those guys need the ball all the time. And Westbrook, in that offense on the Rockets now, he's not a good shooter. He's never been a good shooter. So all they want to do is just chuck shots up. That doesn't suit him. I mean, he's like the one slasher guy. And then they just play a super small lineup, and everyone's just like either standing around for James Harden to do something, or probably get fouled, which he does a lot.
Yeah.
Or just hit a long three. But I don't know how Westbrook fits in there. I mean, he's still a good player. He's still, at least a top 10 guy in the NBA. And Harden is too, but Harden as
Who
your
takes the blame
centerpiece.
for this then? Like, ideally, who there's going to be a scapegoat at the end of this. So it's like, who do we point
Always.
the finger?
I just don't think
we say Harden, Westbrook, or even D'Antoni.
Harden or D'Antoni.
Yeah, I'd say
probably.
Harden.
I mean, D'Antoni didn't build the team, but Daryl Morey is a pretty smart, sharp basketball guy. He's kind of like the, I don't know, Billy Bean type, like sabermetrics guy of basketball, with sort of like outside the box, looking at different stats and things like that. And some of that has garnered them some wins, but I don't know. It's just the way that team's put together. I just don't ever see them. I mean, maybe a Western Conference Finals now and then, but maybe a Finals. Everything just falls just right. But I just think Harden and D'Antoni are kind of the same guy. Like, one as a player, one as a coach. They're going to score a bazillion points in their career, and they're going to have that and go down with that, and they're not going to win anything because, I mean, Harden has to have the ball all the time to get his 45 points, which is impressive. He's going to be one of the top all-time scorers, but what does that do? Just you leave scraps for the other guys? Like, there's no real. Yes, he gets some assists because he has the ball all the time, and he gets steals. But he's not a good defender. He's not even a really defender that tries hard at all.
Yeah,
so
he barely plays defense. Now it's a surprise he's actually playing defense, but still,
it's kind of just like, I don't know. He will be in the Hall of Fame. It's basketball Hall of Fame.
Like Charles Barkley, never winning a ring.
Yeah, but Charles Barkley was actually he was a good, well-rounded player, though, at least. Like, he just ran into Jordan and, a lot of these other teams that were just really good at that time. Harden is a great player. He's a really good scorer, one of the best, we might ever see. I super herky jerky and getting to the foul line 30 times a game. That is tough to watch, but
Yeah.
I just don't think he's going to win anything. Like if maybe later he goes to a team just sort of gloms on, he can always be like a spot up shooter. He's like 37 or whatever, and oh yeah,
Six
Harden.
man eventually come off the bench.
Yeah, it'd give you instant offense. Like you don't really need anyone else except for people to set picks for him and maybe get some rebounds. But I just don't think that's just your star player that you're going to win with. I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. I don't, Tyler, what you think?
I mean, just looking at it, I'm comparing them to what the Phoenix Suns were back when they had Steve Nash, Sean Marion, and Stoudemire. Great team on paper. They could put up a bunch of points. They just can't get the big win.
Yeah, and they just don't play defense. So, I mean,
Yeah,
the Spurs were able to keep up with them and still get points, based on the way they played. And that's D'Antoni's whole story as an NBA coach. He'll score a ton of points and probably not win anything.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the biggest thing is their whole offense is built on either draining a three or drawing a foul, and you don't care about defense. And if you're not making all the threes you're putting up, it's a completely flawed system they're running. So I mean, because you said you were having an argument with somebody. Which side of the argument did you fall on?
So my father was saying Harden. I was saying, hey, it's more on Westbrook because I feel like Westbrook last year he had Melo, he had Paul George, and I felt like he took that team down in the playoffs, and I was just like, oh, okay. I thought, no, it's Harden. Doesn't play defense. He's just pretty much a scorer. In the regular season, he'll put up phenomenal numbers. I mean, granted, he's putting up the numbers now, but in the past, his player performance doesn't really. He doesn't get that extra push to push the Rockets to that next level.
Right.
I think for me, it still goes back to D'Antoni because just only because the fact that it's pretty much put out there, which is kind of nice in a way, I guess, if you're a player on that team, we're just going to do this and we're just going to go all the way with this and see where it goes. But it's pretty clear to all the neutral people that it's not a way to win. So Westbrook hasn't shot well. Like I said, he's not a great shooter anyway, but in this whole playoffs. So, and they're still just hey, if you got the open shot, just take it. But I just don't think you're using Westbrook in the best way possible there. And they're just nope, just keep doing it. We'll do it until the wheels fall off, which, I mean, they're pretty much off at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. But I just think it mostly falls on D'Antoni just because he's never had any kind of affinity for defense or even getting a hard-nosed defensive coach in there, just you coach the defense. Let's come up with some schemes here. No, it's all about we're going to get up more shots than the other team, and we're probably going to outscore them. And we're probably going to win, 60 games in the regular season. But when the playoffs come, the fouls kind of dry up a little bit. And other teams are good. They're already there. So you got to stop the other team. You can't just let them, they'll score a bunch, but we'll outscore them. That doesn't always work in the playoffs.
I'm just trying to think after this postseason, then what happens then? Do we I know Westbrook's on their contract, but do they try to find someone to buy out the contract, trade him? Because then it's eventually you're gonna have to do something. It's either I predict D'Antoni's out for sure. D'Antoni's definitely gonna be out if they don't do anything this year. 4 years and nothing to show for it with an all-star talent like Harden. It's who goes on the chopping block and who gets sent packing?
Well, coaches are always the first one to get it, so
yes.
I would say D'Antoni's most likely candidate there. Depends on how, I guess, embarrassing or how bad Daryl Morey feels like this looks for the team that he put together as a GM.
Yeah,
I would say most likely D'Antoni. I don't know what you do with Westbrook. He's still, like I said, top talent. Harden's going to be there, but they're just kind of in a weird spot right now. I don't know what the long-term forecast is for that team because the West is really good. I mean, we saw the Jazz, the Blazers, all these teams are the Suns kind of coming up just to even get into playoffs. So I think they're kind of sort of just in limbo right now, that team. I mean, they got talent on that team, but they're sort of locked into the system with the players they have. So I don't know if they want to totally just tear the whole thing down. Maybe that's sort of on D'Antoni's side if they're just going to stick with it and see what happens next year. Yeah. But I don't know. I just don't like the Rockets like long term, the way that team's put together.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, there's just something like the argument. I was like, yeah, someone's gonna go, like someone's gonna get cut or just like sent packing. Me, I just feel it's just Westbrook. I was like, you're often like your mentality of score first. Yes, you can facilitate, but it's just like it doesn't sound like a good fit. Like you're just like to
I
me, he looks like
always had questions about those two guys on the same team because it
but it
just
worked it worked in OKC, and at that point you had Kevin Durant, so it's like you had a big three.
yeah, it works when you have Kevin Durant or some of these other guys, but especially Kevin Durant, who's when he comes back, whenever that is, healthy, probably like one of the best three players in the whole league as far as like unguardable. But Westbrook was kind of like the bench sort of energy guy. Harden too was not really, always a starter in those times. He was like instant offense guy off the bench, and they weren't like fully formed as NBA stars yet, except for KD. So them two on the Rockets, I don't know. I don't see that working out, long term. But
I wonder what the Thunder would have been if that core three would have stood in OKC. But
if
you
they
never
would have,
know.
yeah, that would have been cool if they could have kept that together. I would have liked to see that.
Yeah.
Real quick, I got to touch back on the
I'm
comments.
out
We
of here.
have.
Peace out.
All right.
Thanks for
Thank
calling,
you,
man.
Nick, for the
Appreciate it.
call. And again, Nick is
Yeah,
brought to you.
wash that stuff out your mouth, man.
Yeah,
Don't eat or drink anything until you brush your teeth
Got
or
it.
something, because that
Got
seems a little risky. That's definitely poison. But thank you, Nick, for the call.
Thanks, Nick.
And once again, Nick, brought to you by the Canada Steakburger Celebrity Hotline, Canada Steakburger, 3215 University Avenue, City Heights, home for, well, again, it's not Canadian or steak, but they got good burgers. And real quick, I did switch over here. Let me pull this back up. Over to the comments. Jaime with some thoughts. Rondo balling like Hondo. And also to the Rockets podcaster. He would have lost his mind if Robinson Caruso was balling.
True.
Defending James Harden and trashing D'Antoni, which I'm not totally there, but I'm skewing more that direction. I just don't know if D'Antoni's built to win in the NBA. Malachi coming in. Is it the players or the system? Kind of both. I mean, based on what we were just talking about, that's just more the system, I think, but kind of like, what are you going to do with these players when, PJ Tucker is your go-to center in ideal circumstances?
Your big, no, that's not going to work.
Probably not. Yeah, and then you look at the Lakers and other teams that actually have big guys. Got some kind of bug here.
Even though the league is getting smaller, like you still need some presence on the inside at some point in time, and they definitely don't have that.
Yeah, you see, the Lakers just kind of leveraging that. They've got three pretty mobile, like, you wouldn't really say like Dwight Howard or JaVale or like shooters by any extent, but they can get rebounds, they can block shots, alter shots, just clog up the middle for guys that want to slash in there. And then AD can kind of do everything. So that little trifecta there is pretty hard to stop, especially for one of these littler teams. And they did the same thing to the Blazers too.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's. I think we can move on here to another sport. Last night we did have the return of the NFL. I know Ronnie kind of spoke on it a little bit earlier. How he was, out at a, out at a place without a TV to see it. But I think the game pretty much kind of went how a lot of people thought it would. I mean, I think the final score wound up being 31-20 in favor of Kansas City, but the game wasn't even as close as that score suggests. Houston came out. I think they had a nice first drive. David Johnson getting a nice 20-ish yard run for a touchdown, and then from there, Kansas City just took over. I mean, there's just so many weapons on that offense, and they added Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who anybody that watched LSU last year kind of knows. That guy is a legitimate threat. We were kind of talking before as well. Like, I don't know. I don't mean to take away from Edwards-Helaire because I think he'd be really good on a lot of teams, but especially on this Kansas City offense where they have so many guys that you have to cover, it just opens things up so much more for him and makes him even more dangerous.
Yeah, and sort of what we were talking about before. I mean, yes, the Dodgers, like in baseball, obviously we're just not going to swerve over there just yet, but they still have a really deep farm system, and I know a lot of the Padre fans here or people that I work with at the Padres radio network constantly in awe of just like, where do they find these guys? Like, they bring up another guy, he hits a home run in his first game. Like, I think a lot of that has to do with kind of like the Edwards-Hilaire thing, though. You're coming into a team that's already good, so there's no pressure on you to just be like the savior. So
Right.
one or two bad games, don't worry about it. We'll keep running you out there. You'll figure it out. And he just sort of took the mantle and just right off the bat just ran with it, no pun intended. But definitely not encouraging for a Raider or Charger fans such as
Very
yourself
true.
to
Very
see
true.
the rich get richer
Yeah.
and just add to what is looks like on paper and in reality after one game a pretty unstoppable offense. Mahomes
Yep.
wasn't really going deep, but he was efficient.
He didn't have
No
to.
turnovers. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were pretty much just forcing him to go underneath, and he was just taking what they gave him. 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, no fumbles. Um, the Chiefs are just a problem. I think that's just
Yep.
offensively. I mean, I had a couple guys get hurt on defense last night, but like Tyler said, in the period of time where the game was actually sort of in contention, like it wasn't really in contention, but when there was still an opportunity for Houston to mount a charge, nothing really happened. One thing that did make me laugh was David Johnson getting that touchdown to start the game.
Yeah.
So if the 2 or 3 people out there that still stick up for Bill O'Brien were like, see, it was right. That was the right move. We got the guy. We got Hopkins out of here with his attitude. But no, because Watson was kind of running around. He didn't have a great game. The Chiefs, we talked about this when Justin, friend of the program, was on the show. As a unit, the defense doesn't blow you away, but they've got some playmakers that can change
Right.
the game on just 1 or 2 plays. So combine that with the offense they have that's just perpetually going to be like 500 plus yards. Man, that's going to be tough to knock that team off.
Yeah, it's. We've said it multiple times on here. It doesn't look good for us as Raiders. I mean, not that it ever looks good as a Raiders fan or a Chargers fan, but now it looks even worse with Mahomes locked up there for the next 83 years.
Yeah, it's insane 12-year contract.
Yeah, but Kansas City rolled, and we got of course now we got the first weekend of NFL football coming up this Sunday. Couple games that really stuck out to me that I'm going to kind of keep my eye on this weekend is
hold on real quick before you go there. I just want to talk about what for me was the biggest story, and a lot of people, and that was Andy Reid's face shield.
Oh yes,
there he is in his spacesuit or whatever. It kept fogging up on him. I felt bad for him, and of course the running joke on Twitter was how many Andy Reid's face shield accounts are going to pop up. And I wasn't even seeking this out. I was just trying to find a picture of that, screenshot. And there's already a lot of them. Big red shield, Andy Reid's face SH, face shield Andy. The variations just go on from there. But
which one gets verified first? That's the question.
Yeah, who's going to get the check mark? Who's the actual face shield?
Yeah,
we got to find out what that official account is. But he said he's going to come back. He's going to work something else out because it wasn't working out for him. He was having a hard time. You could see him like flipping it up, wiping it off, trying to talk to people, trying to talk to the referees, figure out what's going on, fussing with it the whole time. But it was pretty funny to see him in that Bubble Boy suit that he was wearing.
Yeah, you got to get a better defroster on that thing, man. That's just put it on the defrost and crank it up.
Maybe just like a windshield wiper on the inside.
Yeah.
It's NFL. It's like F1. They have unlimited money. They can figure.
They have the resources. Yes.
Yeah, and they have the science and all this stuff. But no, so we will take a look here real quick at the opening full weekend of the NFL, which I'm pretty excited about, even as a Raider fan. Potentially a winnable game against the Panthers, but who knows? They do have McCaffrey. Bridgewater's kind of a wild card. He's shown that he's NFL talent. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing ever certain as a Raider fan. So I am ready to be hurt again, Raiders.
I was going to say, I think pain is a certainty if you're a Raiders fan.
My prediction,
just like with the Chargers. Pain. Yeah. I mean, a couple games this weekend that definitely stood out to me was in the morning we got Green Bay and Minnesota, which we talked about on Wednesday. I think for both of us is going to be the Jaime wants that face shield.
We all want the face shield. It's going to the Hall of Fame, Jaime. I'm sorry, I have to tell you. Straight to Canton.
Green Bay, Minnesota in the morning. That's going to kind of be the battle for who's going to win the NFC North. So obviously the winner's going to get a nice jump early on in the year. Then of course in the afternoon we got Tampa Bay at New Orleans, which is probably going to be the battle for the South, for the NFC South. Although I think no matter what happens, the Saints are going to kind of win that division by a game or two. But it'll still be interesting to see that new vaunted high-powered offense there led by Tom Brady in Tampa. See how they can stack up against the big boys of the division. So those were kind of the two games that stuck out most to me. I mean, I'm sure there'll be some good, exciting stuff. I know I'll be watching Red Zone all weekend, so I probably won't see too much of any one game. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. It'll be nice having NFL back on Sunday.
And that is really the beauty for me, especially as a Raider fan. So as I've said here before, I care more about fantasy than what the Raiders are doing, and they don't ever really appear on Red Zone that much unless they're getting scored on. But another interesting one for me was the Miami-New England game, just to see, what this new look Patriots is going to be. And Miami was coming on strong at the end of the year. I think everyone's got Buffalo penciled in as the favorite right now, but it seems like Miami's at least going in a positive direction. So this could be kind of sort of a landmark thing in that division.
Sure.
I mean, one game is one game, but just to open the season, New England at home, you go in there and beat them, just sort of put your flag down. Hey, we're, trying to win this division. Or on the flip side, New England can come out and just look great. We just don't know because they're still going to be well coached. Everyone wants to see what Cam's going to look like playing, in a real game over there. So I think that's going to be an interesting one. Just real quick, too, I wanted to get your thoughts sort of on the Chargers-Bengals game as the resident Charger fan.
So this is one that the Chargers should win, and I think that's actually the team motto.
Oh, that's scary.
The Chargers should win. Although, I mean, obviously losing, Derwin James for the year, that was announced a couple weeks ago, and then announced earlier today is the starting center Mike Pouncey, who's the leader on the offensive line, is going to miss the game with some hip issues. So, in true Chargers fashion, they're getting hurt. Of course, it's going to be the first game without Phillip Rivers in forever. See how Tyrod Taylor does. I mean, they've still got some of the offensive weapons. They've still got some good pieces on the defense. Cincinnati's offensive line isn't very good. Obviously, they're going to have rookie quarterback Joe Burrow back there. I think it's one the Chargers should win, but, like I've said, in true Chargers fashion, it wouldn't surprise me if, they go for the winning field goal and right before the ball crosses over the goalpost, a sandworm from Dune pops up and knocks it out of the air or something. It's the Chargers seem to find creative ways to lose games. So
innovative
that's
and creative ways to lose.
On this week. Yeah.
I can.
Oh no, they're amazing at finding ways.
Getting struck by lightning or something like that in mid-flight and just deflating and coming up short of the goalpost, something along those lines. And resident Cowboy fan, along with Justin. Shout out to Justin. Malachi comes in with them boys. Of course, Cowboys on Sunday night. What a shocker! What a shocker! Who could have seen that coming? But hey, we'll see if the Rams are, still got it together. They do have good players over there, but I feel like some of that window is sort of closing over there. But good slate of games, and then of course you got the. I'll just have to take the thing off. The traditional doubleheader on Monday Night Football. Steelers at Giants. Steelers were kind of a train wreck last year, but I don't really think they have any problem with that game.
I think they'll start to right themselves this year.
Yeah, they usually just find a way back. And then Titans at Denver, kind of interesting. You had Henry. Titans had that really good run last year to the playoffs. Denver seems to be trending upward as well, which, again, for the Raider and Charger fans here, not great. So we might just have to throw, who's going to get last bet out of.
Although they're not going to have Von Miller on defense, and they might be missing Cortland Sutton out at wide receiver. So it'll be interesting to see how Denver responds, missing a couple key pieces on each side of the ball. But I like the Titans that one. I think they're just going to let Henry carry the ball 48 times for whatever 200 yards and just kind of wear out that Denver defense.
I may taking the Broncos. All right.
Ooh, there you go. I like it.
That's always a good time to mention, though. All picks on this program, entertainment purposes only, even if it's from Jaime. Please remember that.
That's
Please,
right.
please remember that. I do not want to be liable.
Jaime's taking your Raiders.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jaime.
He has more faith in the Raiders than you do.
But I've watched a lot more Raider games.
You've seen more. Yeah. That's
I've
true.
seen the real dark side, which is most of the time for the Raiders. But I'm excited, and as Tyler said, it's probably going to be a red zone day for me.
Oh, yeah.
If I get a chance to get a stream or watch the actual Raider game, I will throw it on. As I said, I am ready to be hurt again, and
Sure.
I'm prone in a moment of weakness to actually watch the Raider game and get mad, and then flip it back to red zone that I will never have to watch them again on because they don't score.
Right.
But football's back. I'm just happy that football's back, and like I said, fantasy is back for now.
And yeah, and actually, the other football is back. Football, if you will, the Premier League coming back this weekend. Which, again, in similar vein to real American football, we're both fans of a team that is just in absolute disarray and is probably going to be really bad. But I'm looking forward to it. I mean, kind of look at the slate. Not too many great games stand out. I mean, Manchester City, Manchester United both are postponed because of their late runs in their European competitions. But it'll be interesting to see Liverpool coming back, the defending champion, against Leeds, newly promoted Leeds, who won the championship, to go up.
I think that game would be great if they, we're not going to have fans, but the Leeds fans are, pretty notoriously rowdy. And that would just be a great atmosphere. Just promoted, playing the champions. I think that would be super hyped up. Unfortunately, we're not going to get that. But just kind of intriguing to see, the champions versus a team that's really historically in the Premier League been a powerhouse. Just sort of that in-between kind of team right now in the last, 10 years, whatever it is. But also looking forward, if I can catch it, some of the Tottenham-Everton game. Everton got James Rodriguez, so kind of want to see how that's going to work out. And good to have it back, but also a little stressful considering I feel like it was just like 2 days ago. We were just wiping the sweat off our brow like, hey, West Ham survived. Oh, God, here we go again. Another one.
Yeah, West Ham, it's not looking good. They made no additions to the team. They lost players. In fact, they sold a player that pissed off. They sold a player which in turn pissed off a lot of the current players on the team. There's rumors that the manager might be leaving. So West Ham always in disarray. And also, if they don't win this game against Newcastle, they're not going to win for like 2 months because their schedule is filled with teams that finished top 7, top 8 last year. So hope they beat Newcastle, but Newcastle's also pretty good team as well. Good. So not looking good. Fortunately for me this year, I've taken the same route that I do with fantasy football, and I decided to do fantasy Premier League. So at least that will keep my attention away from what is most likely a terrible year for West Ham.
And also, I just wanted to point this one out, even though the game is postponed. Jaime, Villa over City. Would love to see
They will not lose to City this weekend. I can promise you.
They will not. That's a guaranteed lock. I don't even have to put the entertainment purposes only disclaimer on that one. You can pencil that in. They will not lose.
You can pin that in. That's what you can do.
You can Sharpie that one. That's 100%. Spurs Everton. That's the one I'm really looking forward to. Like I said, the Leeds one would be more hyped up if you can have fans there, because I think the fans would just be going insane that whole game until Liverpool gets up like 4-0 in halftime. But it just would be a cool atmosphere if that was able to have fans in attendance.
Yeah, two fan bases with interesting reputations. That would be pretty cool to see.
Interesting. That's a polite way to say it.
Yeah. No, I didn't want to just run them through the dirt. But But no, I mean. I'm excited. We got fantasy, or we got Premier League back, so that's something I definitely look forward to every year. And even though the team we root for is probably going to get relegated, still got to enjoy the rival.
Say that. But yes, it's a little too soon for me to get worked back up for that. I was like, all right, they survived. Oh, we got to do this again.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And we got to do it for 38 weeks instead of 5 weeks. Well, damn. All right.
Let's take a little breather right now. I know we've been missing this feature for a little while, so let's exhale. We do have a this friggin' guy for you. I know it's what the game's been missing, as they say. So I wanted to dust it off for you guys. We do have a very special this friggin' guy on tonight's episode, so let's fire that up. So this one comes to us from the Douglas County Sheriff's Department down in Georgia. Just a very weird one where a deputy was out. It wasn't even like a house call, like a domestic thing. I think it was like posting a notice or something like that. You could see there as it quickly went by in the video. For these kind of calls where it's not like a dangerous thing or a situation where you're expecting any kind of threat or anything like that, deputy usually leaves her car door open. She came back to find a goat inside the car that was eating all the paperwork in the car, knocking her cup out of the cup holder. Could have got worse, with the horns on the goat. I feel like they could just bust out windows if they want. But the real glory of this one is that it does also come with body cam footage. So we have that for you now. I have a couple clips to play. Here's the first one as she leaves the front step of the house that she was posting on the door and walks back to discover that there is, in fact, a goat inside the car.
Get out! Go on! Get out! Go! Come on! Come on! Get out! Get out! Get out!
Fortunately, the goat and the deputy was not harmed, but things got a little twisted in this next video where she circles back to the other side of the car, and the goat busted a move. I mean, that's all I could say, but take a look for yourself.
Get out! Give it! Give it! Give me that damn... Hang on! Don't! Hang on! Hang on! Go!
So she did take a little tumble there. The goat took a run at her, but she was fine. You could tell she was kind of laughing it off. The goat obviously moved on. I do love in that video where the other dogs at the property come circling around. Then there's a whole like petting zoo situation just breaking out. But my only theory on this is maybe that goat is someone's attorney, and it was at their best interest to get in that car and eat that paperwork because he was really going after it.
I would say that's entirely possible. What I was impressed with, and I think something tells me that she is a woman that maybe is a little bit countrified and has been around livestock before, because there was like no hesitation, just walking right up to the goat, get out, just like not even like a stop and assess it. It's just like no, she knew what to do. She knows like go right at the goat. So I was impressed by the work there.
Yeah, this is our first goat. This freaking guy. So the goat, put one on the tally board. I think obviously Manfred is in the Hall of Fame, but
Manfred is the goat, but this is a goat that won.
Yeah, he's the GOAT, but this is an actual goat. And then Florida Man still, strong in second place. But just an interesting one I found for you guys. And anytime there's some next level body cam footage like that of a goat just running wild in a cop car, we will have it for you here on Quarantine Kings. Believe that.
A goat going crazy in a cop car, just a tale as old as time.
How many times have we seen that old chestnut,
Screenwriting 101 right there. That's what that is.
Yeah, there's hackneyed, just lazy screenwriting. Yeah. Anyone can come up with that. We've seen it a million times.
What if there's a goat in my backyard right now because the dog is starting to go crazy?
Dog's going crazy. I don't know. You might have to go run out there. But watch out. If you have any papers in your hand, they gone.
That's true. That's true. So just a couple more things before we get out of here. Coming in for the weekend, we do have, of course, a NASCAR playoff race. Actually, it's going to be tomorrow in Richmond. It's the second race of the first round of the playoffs, of course. Local boy, Bakersfield's own Kevin Harvick, already advanced to that next round of the playoffs, so he can kind of do whatever he wants for this race and the next race. But this race is kind of Richmond is kind of Denny Hamlin's backyard, and so it's kind of, I would say he's probably going to be the favorite to win it, if not Kevin Harvick, which I think Harvick's actually on the pole as well. But you got to imagine Hamlin's going to have a good showing. I mean, he's kind of, just with all the bonus points he racked up during the season, he's going
to be there anyway, but it does have all the makings. Sort of, it just feels like this is going to be his punches instant ticket to the round of 12. Yeah. But Harvick's sitting on the pole. Harvick's just been really good all season. So, I mean, I'd like to see Harvick kind of stick it to him, at what is sort of regarded as his home track as far as the Cup tracks go.
Sure.
But should be a good race. I'm going to try to catch as much as I can of it. But, we keep slogging through these NASCAR playoffs until we get down to the real nitty-gritty. But looking forward to it. Richmond's a pretty well-known NASCAR track. It's been on the circuit forever, so should be a good race.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, it's the second of 3 rounds in this first set of playoffs. So, a couple weeks for, I think it's going to be cut down from 16 to 12 after next week. So, definitely some guys that are kind of in the back of that top 16 right now are just going to have to just really go for it this week and next week. So that could make for some interesting long finishes as well, of guys just just straight up going for it and probably causing wrecks or getting into wrecks. So
at the end, could get a little hairy at the end for guys that really need to stay in that hunt.
Yeah, but again, looking forward to that. That should be a good race. I think that's on at 4:30 p.m. West Coast time tomorrow. So keep an eye out on that one.
A couple quick things too. I just wanted to touch on before we get out of here. We'll just pivot over to baseball. This is just more of a side note. Tyler pointed out to me that someone in, I believe, Westlake put up a mural of the now infamous
Silver Lake.
Oh, Silver Lake. Okay.
Yes.
The now infamous Joe Kelly.
The Trompa. Yeah.
Trompa face.
Yeah.
And his whole family got out there and posed in front of it within the last couple of days. So good to see the family getting out. Also, respect for rocking the Laker jerseys there. But and they're all doing it. You can't see the picture quite big enough, but they're all aping that classic pose that will now live on forever.
That's a really well-made mural. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it almost looks like a photo just laid up on the wall. So shout out to the guy that did that. Obviously, some kind of hipster that lives there, but he did a good job. A couple other things. I did post this in the Quarantine Network sports page right after our show on Wednesday. The Braves had themselves a day. I don't know how many teams can post 9 runs and lose by 20, but yes, that is a real score that actually happened in real Major League Baseball, 29-9. You see the 36 combined hits, and wow, after that 11-run second inning by the Braves, you think, okay, maybe we just pull it back a little bit, but no.
Yeah.
Miami came back with 3, Braves with 2. Miami came back with 3 again, Braves with 3, and then 6 and 3 and 4, and it just kept going, and it was out of control. When I got back in, I was trying to watch the Dodger game, and I saw that score on the MLB TV. It just kind of gives you what games are still going. You can click on them and what the current score is, and I was like, someone at MLB TV is high right now. This is not real. This can't be real. And it turns out it was very real, and very real for the Marlins.
Yeah, it was weird because earlier that same day, this was on Wednesday, the Brewers beat the Tigers 19-0, and then of course the Braves just turned around and all right, we can, I think we can top that. So
I'll raise you, yeah,
definitely a bit of a wild day of scoring 29 runs. Jeez.
Also, just for baseball today, we have 20. That is absurd. I can't. Falcons Dolphins game, dude. That looks like a score right there. Right there. That makes perfect sense.
They probably score more than the Falcons will score this Sunday, I think.
It's quite possible.
Yeah, I mean 29. That's that's 4 touchdowns plus a 2-point conversion. That's
If anyone wants to take that action, just remember entertainment purposes only.
course.
Please remember that.
Yep.
And as far as the Padres game, the local connection here in San Diego was postponed tonight, and I believe tomorrow's game also. A member of the Giants traveling party, not a player, but team staff, someone like that, did test positive. So they postponed the game. I think last thing I was seeing in my ubiquitous notifications that I cannot turn off from the fan account, the Padres were kind of having a team meeting in the stands. There's no fans there. Just sort of huddled around the manager, just sort of seeing what we're going to do going forward. What's the plan for the weekend? I'm sure they're going to make that up with some kind of 7-inning doubleheader, something like that going forward. And one other odd factoid of the day: the Rays came out with since at least 1901, which is basically in the history of modern baseball, as they call it,
Yes.
an entirely left-handed starting lineup. That is incredible. And it seemed to work out because they were really putting the screws to them last time I saw the score. I don't know what the score is right now, but look at all these lefties.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to really go through it, but it's like, are those all pure lefties or are there switch hitters? Because I don't know why a team would have that many left-handed batters in their lineup, but yeah, that's kind of crazy. It worked. They beat Boston 11-1, 11 runs, 12 hits. So yeah, more power. I mean, it is Boston. They're not very good, but more power to them because I never thought I'd see an all lefty lineup. That's pretty crazy.
The thing too that kind of makes me think that we will probably not ever see it again is you got to think this year they got the bigger rosters where you can do something like this.
Right.
Extra guys in the bullpen. You can obviously it was a right-handed pitcher going for the Red Sox. I don't know who was starting that game. You're probably not going to see this again, so it's just kind of a weird thing, especially in baseball where they've been playing forever. And in the summer, in normal years, they play pretty much every day, so there's been bazillion games been played, and this hasn't happened since at least 1901.
Yeah.
We still might not see it. Well, we might see it again this season, but I don't know if this is something that you're going to see anyone ever do again, just out of, being pragmatic. I don't know if you're going to have the option to do this, but it was just kind of a funny thing that I saw that they have all left-handed batters.
Yeah, that's like I said, that's something I never ever thought I'd see. I mean, it's kind of, especially with the whole new rule about bullpen guys having to face 3 batters. You do see a lot of managers kind of staggering that left, right, left because they want to make that decision to go to the bullpen as hard as possible. So yeah, you're right. I don't think that's anything we'll ever see. Never seen it before. Probably never see it again.
But that, as they say, is why they play the games.
That's 2020.
You're going to see something different every time you go to the park, baby.
There you go. All right, well, we're up against it, Ronnie, so I think we should probably get the ending going here. Anything else you want to close with?
No, thank you guys for watching. Good sports weekend, another good one. Just try to watch as much as you can. I know I will be. But thank you guys, as always, for tuning in, commenting, calling in. Shout out to Nick on the Canada Steak Burger Celebrity Hotline. Tyler, anything else you got to say before we roll into this weekend?
Just stick around here on the network. We got Book Club for TV with Patrice coming up, heading into the weekend. Hope you guys have a good, fun, safe weekend. You guys know the drill. As always, keep the fire.
Keep the fire.